Alrighty, folks, welcome back. We are working on the toe rig again, and today, given my current tore up something in my neck shoulder area, it's really giving me some issues. So today we are going to take a pause from potential re-injury, and we're going to do something a little different. So for starters, this is where I left it. I know we ended the video a little early, but I got it all painted. I'm not worried about the rocker box because I'm going to take this rocker box off and get it powder coated. I wasn't worried about the valve cover. So we got everything painted up over here. Again, wasn't to try and make this look like it's a built engine. The goal was really just to clean it up. And then I ordered some new stuff. I got a new water pump coming, new belt tensioner, and a new belt. As well as the thermostat, and I was able to get a hold of a freeze plug solution. And then over here, which is where we're going to be working, we're going to tackle the grid heater. So we're going to go ahead and remove the valve cover, injector harness, rocker box, and get to our valve cover, our fuel lines, get our rail ripped off of here real quick, and get our fleece part in. Now, if you're unfamiliar, this is what the fleece part looks like right here. Now, if you have a 13 and up truck, you need the one that comes with the extension harness, which is this right here. And scratch that. This part, let me open it. Now, a few reasons why I like the fleece one is you can get it in black. The rail bosses are built into this piece. I can't really tell. I think fleece machines these separate and they thread in, press in perhaps, to save on material, which I don't blame them, but they're at least part of it. Other people's, I usually like super glue these on so they don't fall. Comes with the gasket, comes with the perforated style gasket. I'm not a fan, so we're going to grab one of those steel Cummins ones to put on there to make this work. And that is essentially our goal for today, to get this on. And then I think we'll also try to tackle over here, try to get our fuel filter out. I'm going to go ahead and get that draining. Put a drain pan under there. You guys could kind of see right there is the drain cock. So we'll get that drain in so we can get our fuel filter out of the way. Okay, one mistake I see a lot of people make, they get to this point. I took the lifting hook off. That rail connector back there can be a real pain in the butt. So that one right there, what I tell people, take the rail off and then you'll be able to rotate that over and get to it a little easier. The last mistake people make, you guys see all this crust down here? You want to take some brake clean and like a little scuzz brush, push that backwards. Obviously you don't want to push it into the rail sensor here, so we'll kind of tuck that up and over the way. And then once we clean all that off, that is when you guys can take this plate off. But you don't want all that dropping into your intake. All right, and this is what it will look like with it off. I got rid of some of the harness bracketry. I didn't get rid of all of it. We'll put this one back on. But the rest of them we didn't use because it's for the grid heater. So we got this kind of pulled back. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to paint just the cylinder head up here. Just, again, to make it look nicer. I promise I'm not going to claim my built-in engine on this thing yet. But I capped all of our fuel connecting tubes. I just had some random caps laying around. And this will also be a great time for us to deal with the fuel. We're pretty much right there anyway. And we'll get knocking on that as well. So we will vacuum this valley out, but I did brake clean and like kind of scuzz brush it with that brush right there. I also took the cylinder lifting head bracket off because I have the fire pump one and it's just in the way. So just kind of tidying up. You know, a lot of people leave this one bracket here where the crossover pipe goes, and I don't know, I don't like it. So trying to make this thing look clean and make it look like it's not missing anything going down the road. So I'm going to kind of prep this up a little bit, and I don't know how to get you guys down there for the fuel filter, but if you look at this fleece bit here, you guys will kind of see what we're up against. You know, can I just take a minute to talk about the things that no one sees on YouTube? Do you know how good over the past 4 years, oh, it's been over 4 years now, our anniversary date was like November 4th or something. Do you know how hard it has been to learn how to open packages one-handed for you guys? Anyway, I digress. Here is our fleece fuel filter delete. So as you can see, it just allows the return fuel, CP3 and cylinder head. Actually, in this case, it'll probably be, I don't know. We'll see. No, it's got to be the fuel. I don't know. Let me look at it, and then I can tell you. And then there's your water and fuel sensor right there. So it's just 2 bolts. These aren't too hard to get out. The last time I did one was probably a few years ago. So I'm going to take a look at it real quick, get a lay of the land, and then I'll show you guys what I did. All right, so just a couple of moments later, we got it figured out. Put that back on the ground. So this is your fuel line that gets hooked up to your CP3. Then there's a quick disconnect from the tank right there. Just a kind of like an air dog fitting. Just push this in and it detaches. And there's 3 bolts, 1 on the back side, 2 on the front. And this is kind of what you're left with. You guys can see already how much more room we have to work with down here now that that's out of the way. And the last part is up there. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not even sure why I bought a fuel filter delete, because we have battery wires that run on that bracket, like a ground and a positive that stayed secure if you guys look down there, and then everything else is kind of out of the way. I honestly, I mean, the water and fuel light would be nice, but that's still not like a deal breaker there. Looks way nicer. Wish there was a way that all that wasn't one piece, because I feel like there's some more bolts. Or is it just literally the two top ones you guys can see, but like the whole harness goes to that. I just don't know if I'm ready to undo that. I feel like that would be a mistake. What do you guys think? And here's your fuel line from the tank right here. But it's definitely interesting because there's a lot that bolts to that I'm not sure if I want to get rid of. All right, so I gave it some thought. We're just gonna leave this. It's not that I don't like this product or I think it's wrong. I just don't necessarily want to go through all the issues of trying to get that off, and then you just have so many cables that are running right there that I feel like can chafe. They're very nicely secured from the factory. So this is one of the very few times I think I'm gonna just not do that. So what we'll do is we'll pull the water and fuel sensor out. And with the water and fuel sensor out, just kind of shrink wrap everything together and it should be okay. But we did get the big fuel filter out, which is really, honestly, all I wanted. So I'm gonna get that done. I'm gonna get some paint on the cylinder head and kind of keep moving forward. So the next time you guys see this, everything will be clean. I'm gonna vacuum out the intake under the plenum, and then we'll put the plenum on together. All right, and there she is, black and beautiful. Almost kind of looks like a new cylinder head. Not what we were going for. While that was going on, I did brake clean, get all the fuel out of the way, zip tied our fuel line up with a bag, heat shrunk the water and fuel sensor, as well as the fuel heater, which again, we don't need that. We're in Cali, okay? We don't need that. And now I got the heater core lines off. I put that one on just to remind me that top goes to the cylinder head, but we did get that done. And now we can actually put our fleece part on here. Not gonna lie, a little sad that we can't use this part here, but it is what it is. So we're gonna go shift gears over to here. Again, I'm not hating on fleece for selling this with this gasket. They may have a reason. I just don't like these gaskets. I like using the OEM style factory one. To swap this over, we have to take this temp sensor out, and we're going to put it in here. And that is why this extension harness is so important, because instead of it being here, okay, you got to make it go over here. And that's what that harness does. It just simply extends it. We're going to probably wire wheel these bolts off real quick, just so they don't look super crusty. And then we can put this on. So I'll get you guys set up on a little time lapse as we bolt this on. Shouldn't be too bad. that will be a wrap on today's video. We got this just set back on here for now. We do have head studs coming up for this. I just trying to give my neck some time to relax. One thing I forgot, if you guys caught on the time lapse, you want to tighten your intake temperature sensor right there. If you don't, you can't get a wrench in there, so I had to kind of pull the rail semi back off. But we got our rail back on, everything's tight, keep it nice and clean. We might fight it with the head studs, might not, but I wanted to leave it on there, keep the dirt out. We got one thing I didn't mention either, and I apologize. When you put this plate on, grab a few bolts for where the intake horn goes. The reason why you want to do that is when you put the intake horn on, this plate has a little jog in it. The stock one does, they all do, where you can basically get real tight here. So before you snug all the bolts down, you want to make sure you put a few bolts in here to kind of hold the shape of the plate. That way it lines up later. And we got everything painted, looks pretty sweet. Again, we weren't going for like new engine, I just wanted it clean. We avoided down there. We just really did the cylinder head on this side. Obviously we did the block on the other. So a little disappointed I bought this Grid Fleece Fuel Bowl Delete. Like I said, not a bad product. I don't think the juice was quite worth the squeeze in my option. So we got rid of the fuel filter housing, knocked over our propane tank, and we got our grid heater replaced, which is nice. We got our heater core lines yanked off, and our next episode just kind of depends on how my neck feels. If we do the head studs or we start on the turbo, we're just waiting on a couple of pieces, the powder coat stuff, as well as a freeze plug kit for this, and then we can close this all up. Other things I did last night off camera, you guys can kind of see, we got this whirly tank here, and instead of using a push lock hose and all that, I welded a -10 AN bung on here, so that way we have no rubber line here. The only rubber line connection will be the heater core. So again, -10 vibrant bung. Don't judge. This had definitely had some contamination in it. And you guys can kind of see we got Mishimoto coolant hoses. I'm not a huge fan of most Mishimoto products, but their coolant hoses I've yet to have issues with. And yeah, all in all, the fleece kit, love it. Used it many times, and has always done me well. This is the problem we're trying to avoid, this bolt falling into the engine. As you can see, mine wasn't in bad shape. You can do a wiggle test here. No issues, but I'd rather get rid of the problem. Anyway, guys, another episode in the books. We've done 2. This is our second video now. I'm envisioning the turbo manifold probably being its own video, maybe the coolant kit its own video, head studs, and we'll wrap the head studs up into a couple things. We're waiting on like water pumps, belts, stuff like that. But I'd envision at least 3 more videos on this thing before we go drive it and check for leaks, all that stuff. Just trying to make sure we get all the parts here to keep us going, and also give myself a break as well. So hopefully you guys are liking this Tow Pig series. Drop your comments down below. Subscribe if you are not already. And as always, guys, catch y'all on the next one.